Hello and welcome to another Denis Wick Get to Know interview. And it's great to be doing this interview with Phil Green. So thank you very much, Phil, for taking part in this interview.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I've been looking forward to it for a week.
Excellent. Excellent.
Or more.
So I should explain that Phil is a tuba player down in the Midlands, which is the central part of England, if we put it that way, for those of you in the United States. But we should just get a bit of a feeling for whereabouts exactly do you live in the Midlands, Phil, and why do you live there? What is it that I mean? I know you're from that area, but just a little bit about why you live in that particular area.
Well, I live in Shropshire now, which is a county equivalent, I suppose, to a state. I was born very close to Birmingham, which is the second city, as you know, right in the middle of the industrial heartland. Working class family, and there wasn't really a massive brass band connection with my family, but through school we had a school band, and that fed a youth brass band. I was given a euphonium when I first started to play, and lived in the Midlands until probably I was, I don't know, about 45. And when I was 45, we moved as a family to Wales, and we just wanted to live by the seaside in Snowdonia. So we lived there. We only lived there for about 18 months because I found I was travelling back to the Midlands or to London or to the north for every kind of thing, to see family, to go to work, to play music, to perform. So what we sort of thought, well, where can we live? We don't want to live back in the city, but we can't live this rural. It's just so we found Shropshire. It's a lovely place. It's very green. It's a lot of agriculture here. I'm lucky that I work about 11 miles away as a sort of a senior project manager for a big international software company called Capgemini. So I'm in the office 3 days a week. I work from home 2 days a week. My daughter's, she's 13. She's at school just around the corner as well. So it's a nice place to live. The quintet that I play with, we rehearse generally in Birmingham because there is a Birmingham-based group, and the brass band that I play with, we rehearse about 25 miles south in the Black Country. Which it's called Black Country because it's where all the coke and the smoke was for the Industrial Revolution. And we rehearse in a place called Wednesbury twice a week. So it's an ideal place for me, really, here. It's nice and quiet, but within half an hour, I can be back in the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area, and I totally understand what you're saying about North Wales being basically the farthest place from anywhere. You can't get any further away other than perhaps Aberdeen. So no, I totally get that. So you've talked a little bit about the fact that you started on euphonium.
Yes.
But so what was the inspiration to go on to tuba? Because a lot of tuba players say to me, "Well, it was the last one in the cupboard, and I was at the back of the queue." But I just wondered how that came about.
It wasn't quite like that, although that is why I ended up on euphonium, because it was the last instrument, and I literally was the last person to get to the front of the queue. The violins had gone, the clarinets had gone, the cornets had gone, even the cellos had gone, but there was just an old Veltklang euphonium that you could smell it at the back of the queue, and I ended up taking that home and nearly having to take it back to school the very next day, but my mum and dad let me keep it. What made me go on to E flat bass? Well, I'll tell you, I bought, and I can't remember what year it was, about 1980, 1981, maybe 82, cassette of the Grimethorpe Band, and it was a cassette called Firebird. And it was just the best brass band cassette recording at the time. And their E-flat bass player was a guy called Steve Sykes, who still very active in the banding world. And he played on that recording a piece called Scherzo for Tuba. I think it's by John Golland. And I've actually recorded it with a band in Australia. So I thought he plays it so amazingly well. And I thought it was just such a great piece of music. It was fast, but slow at the same time. He's got high notes, low notes. He's got triple tonguing in there. And I thought, oh, you know, that sounds that's fantastic. I really like that. So I taught myself to play that on euphonium. I in fact joined a band on the premise that they would let me play that solo on euphonium if I joined them, which I never did. But I think it was about 1987, 1986, 1987. I was working shifts in IT, and a new band had just formed in the West Midlands called Sovereign Brass. And it was a lot of the old Sandwell youth band players, which I'd played in, a lot of Langley band, which was a championship section band where I'd played euphonium previously. They'd got a euphonium and baritone section. So when I went along, they says, well, the only instrument really we need to fill the band is B flat bass. And I says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll play it on my youth, because I've got a good low register. And I think that lasted about a rehearsal, maybe a rehearsal and a half, before the conductor said, look, this isn't working out. A friend, Craig Williams, who is now conducting Staffordshire band, was on E-flat bass, and he said, I'll tell you what, you have a go on E-flat bass, because it's closer to your euphonium, and I'll get the old B-flat bass that we've got in the cupboard out. And that's it. And from that point onwards, I thought, oh, I'd be able to play that solo scherzo for tuba. And I just stuck at it. And the band, we were fourth section. We went fourth section, third section, second section, championship section. We won every single area 4 years consecutively. And it just, I don't know, the instrument worked for me. I'm quite tall. I'm 6'1". I'm 17 stone. Euphonium now feels very cramped up, whereas an E-flat tuba, and I've had both sorts. I've had the rotary left facing and the piston valve right facing. Just fits on my lap. It fits nicely with me. The mouthpiece feels good. It just seemed a really good fit. Almost fate that I really like Steve Sykes' recording so much.
That's fabulous. Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much for your time, Phil. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure we'll be meeting up very soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.